Hello everyone.
Oh, no. We're gonna be.
Boys. No.
That was worse.
Well, just.
Hello everyone. Welcome to our new podcast, which is called. Exactly. We'll figure that out later.
Pending.
Okay, so.
Pending. We don't even got to
placeholder name.
Yeah, placeholder name.
What if we start with like one funny memory you have from childhood?
Ooh.
Funny memory.
Illness, classic funny topic.
Yeah, I know. I was quite ill as a kid.
That's quite a bit. No kidding. I was about to say I was quite ill as a kid, but my illness pales in comparison to what you've gone through.
It's quite traumatic actually.
This might quickly turn into a therapy session, to be honest. Well, I think I don't know how much you guys played video games when you were young, but I was an avid video gamer. You know, every day when I was a kid, I used to go around to my friend Aaron's house, and I remember distinctly. So he lived in a bungalow, and in the part of his house where we played games, it was like it's like a conservatory. Do you guys know what a conservatory is?
An accurate estimation of our intelligence.
Well, no, but like people who haven't. Conservatories like not overly common, right?
I do know what a conservatory is.
And for
I may not have one.
For the viewers at home, the conservatory. So it's like a small sort of
How are you insulting the viewers as well?
of your house, which
On the back. It can be the back as well, right?
yeah, well, like usually it is at the back. In his case, it was to the side of his house.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, unique, right? So the sun would always like beam through the
Wait,
ceiling.
hold up. For the viewers, why don't you leave a comment on what you think of
do you have a
Yeah.
conservatory?
And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
So
do you know what a conservatory is?
yeah, we want to know. We're
Should we give
genuinely
some-
intrigued.
Should we
about-
give some like talking points to what they think of conservatory?
I think we should move on. I'm just gonna say it.
okay.
So anyway.
your friend's house.
So yeah, so my friend's house, his name's Aaron. But he had this conservatory, and the roof was almost entirely like translucent, so you could see when it was day and night. And I remember sitting, he had this blue couch with like these dark blue like spirals in it, and it was like very comfy. And we had an Xbox 360, it was white, on this like TV, I don't know, about this big, like not much bigger than Thomas's laptop. And we would sit there from the moment we finished school, which is I don't know 3:30 in the UK, right? So like maybe 4:30 after we got home, and we would play video games from then till it went completely pitch black, and then I would go home. And I have such fond memories of playing like Halo 3, a lot of cult classic video games at the time, like Borderlands 2, a game called Crisis, which not as many people know about.
I can't lie. Borderlands 2, I could not get into.
But I'm surprised. I think it's very story orientated. I feel.
Yeah, I played the 2-player one.
The 2-player
The
one.
multiplayer one.
I think they're all multiplayer.
Is it?
aren't they?
I
I
thought they
think
were
so.
single. Maybe I didn't
Maybe
have-
Borderlands 1 is
Maybe I didn't have enough friends.
It may tragedy struck again, but
You can play two-player, just like the two controllers. You can have
Yeah.
right hand and left hand.
You were the parents.
I feel so out of the loop in this conversation because I didn't even have a TV, let alone
did you?
any
Not?
kind of games console.
Oh, I feel this is way more interesting content.
I now have a Wii.
You now
Okay.
have
Oh, the Wii's are the best.
Huge fan of. Like, speaking, the funny thing is, the Wii isn't really nostalgia for me because I didn't have a Wii when I was young, but I do have a Wii now.
This is
and
where we find out it's not recording.
It's recording. It's fine. It's fine.
Thank
You got
goodness.
it. You got it.
I want my thoughts heard about the Wii, okay? Absolutely love it. Best console ever invented.
Yeah.
Not trying to sell you a battle pass every 5 seconds. You just create your me. You listen to some of the best soundtracks.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
very good.
Right?
Does
Some of the
anyone-
best
Iconic
soundtracks
music.
in video gaming. You play Wii Sports, you play Mario Kart. It's goated game after goated game. I'm nostalgic for a thing I never even had as a kid. I'm nostalgic for a thing that has only been
Yes.
a part of my adult life. That's how good the
Did
Wii
anyone
is.
play Mario Kart Wii?
I did.
That was the
Wii.
greatest game.
Way
No,
too
all
much.
of-
Really good.
I'm also very nostalgic about the Wii. It was. I think it is the best console ever made. It's not like this thing. It's not been surpassed. Like technically, it's been surpassed, but just in terms of pure fun,
Vibes.
pure good fun, it's so good.
Do you think if you were like a kid now, you'd think the Switch is way better than the Wii?
Yeah,
What do you
I
think?
probably would.
technologically, right? It just when
Yeah.
you're a kid, it's way more tactile. And it's way more a handheld, right? Not like on like a you have to turn on your TV. Like if you're in like a casual British household, right? You're not like a 1%er. Everyone shares the same TV. So if your parents want to watch something, you don't get to play on the Wii. The
Yeah.
Switch, you can take that wherever you want and play it whenever you want.
That
So
is true.
With Wii, all the family loves it. My parents would play
That's
Wii.
true.
And my
My parents
uncles.
it is
yeah.
the family sort
Yeah.
of bonding.
Bowling. Watching your dad
Yeah.
send a
Yeah.
bowl into the gutter.
Yeah.
Or like
Everyone jumps up.
Send the remote into the TV screen.
Remember, you have to save Wii remote.
Yeah, you got. Oh yeah, you start with obviously got a.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I think
safe
the
track, yeah.
Wii is so like powerfully and universally nostalgic in the UK. Like one of my friends,
I think worldwide, really. I think.
quite possibly, I think a year or two ago, one of my friends came to my house for the first time and saw the Wii and our like really old small computer monitor in the corner and was like, "This house is so 2000s coded," and I've barely ever had a better compliment. Certainly never a better compliment on my house. So
the original Wii games were the best. Like,
They came with great games. Like the Wii came with like Wii Play and Wii Sports.
Yes,
right? Those were amazing games.
Wii Sports Resort, the island one.
Yeah.
And did you play the one that was like a board game?
A board game.
It was like your Mii's would be like the characters in a board game moving across the board.
I don't recall.
Is that Mario
actually.
Party?
No, you can't.
It was with Mii's, definitely. It was set on an island, but it wasn't Wii Sports Resort. It was like a big board game.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And there were mini games. Do you not remember it?
It does sound very Mario Party coded, though, doesn't it?
It might be the same kind of format, but I'm sure it was Mii's.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange because in the past we had Wii Sports for free, and then now for the Switch, there's that.
For $50.
There's like a £10 game where you just explore the features of the Switch.
Yeah, I
Have you
saw
seen
that. Yeah, that was ridiculous. It was just like literally like a tutorial video they now make you pay for.
Wait, do you remember the horse riding on?
Yeah, that was what we
Remember the horse
played.
riding? Yes,
That was
we-
we played.
That was so
Wait,
good.
what action do you do?
So,
That's what you do. You whip the horse.
No, no.
Fun
Whip
There's,
the horse, go faster.
there's the one that I distinctly remember, and I remember distinctly being, for we played, it was cows, and you turn the remote sideways, and you'd like you would in cartoons, like you ride a horse, right? You like your arms go up and down as you're galloping, and you do that with the cow to make it go faster.
Yeah.
And I do remember in I think it was Twilight Princess Zelda, you did have to like whip the horse, but you didn't whip it with an action. You pressed the button and it like made the horse go faster. I don't recall whipping.
We might have pressed the button and done the motion at the
Just
same
at the same
time.
time.
It's 10 times more fun.
Cropping the horse, you know.
What was your favourite Wii Sports game?
The original Wii, the 6 out of those 6.
Bowling.
Yeah, it's like-
I think it has to be
Well,
bowling.
tennis was good.
Tennis.
I love tennis.
original, it's between tennis and baseball for me. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I was never good at baseball,
Oh,
but
I'm
it
not
is
good at
fun.
baseball.
It is so fun.
When you get a home run, it is extremely satisfying.
Yes, it's a very rare event, but it is so satisfying.
If you play with family and you're the bowler, and you press the button at the back, it leads to a curveball. Did you do that?
Oh, I knew all of the like.
I don't think it's the curveballs in bowling depend on how you actually move the remote.
for baseball.
Yeah, you can press B or A or hold both, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
changes what it actually does.
Yeah. But I knew all the tricks back
And
then.
1 and
Yeah.
2, you can throw underarm with 1 and 2 in baseball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all. Actually, that's.
I have a really weird
knowledge.
story. There was a kid at school that was flexing about their Wii remote.
Okay. With flex.
Was it like blue or pink?
It was the white one.
With Wii Motion Plus inside.
But he thought it'd be cool to disassemble the Wii remote and shove a pencil in the end and use that as like in class to write his notes. And he was showing like, I have a Wii remote, but with a pencil shoved in it.
Did it work afterwards?
No,
Like,
because
as a-
he took a sensor out and shoved the pencil in
The
it.
important thing is, was it good as a pencil? Was
No.
it?
Then.
like this. Like the.
It'd be doable, yeah. Like this. If you're doing gigantic scribbles like that, it would work.
If you're a caveman and you write like that, and then you make it. Like,
It's like the jumbo pen
yeah, I remember those.
and the jumbo rubber.
Like the jumbo chalk as well.
To be honest, I didn't have a Wii. I had a DS. Did anyone else have a
Yeah,
DS?
I
Yeah,
had
Mario
DS,
Kart, yeah.
2DS.
Yeah. I had a pink one. Out of all the colours, I chose a pink DS.
I think I had like an aqua blue. It was quite a light blue.
Mm.
I had a licky tongue keyring.
Did you? When you played Mario Kart, and you know when you turn with the controls, did you also turn the DS like that?
Yeah, you're supposed to with Wii. We
No, with
use
DS.
it
With the
motion.
DS.
Oh, with the DS?
Yeah.
No.
Me
I
and my
never
brother
did
would
that.
do it. We'd like make ourselves busy because we'd play it in the back seat of the car,
Mm.
and we'd
that's
just
the
spend
worst.
hours like doing this while in a moving car.
I still get car sick just looking at my phone whilst in the car, and it's like really bad.
I will
Immediate
say,
car sick.
I have some kind of innate tendency to do that with every game, regardless of whether that it's sensitive to you actually moving the remote or not.
Mm.
The very few times I've had access to FIFA, and played FIFA.
That's a crazy sentence.
Which is
the very few times I've had access to FIFA.
Which hasn't been
Access
many.
to FIFA.
It's like the most ubiquitous game in the UK. Like everyone has FIFA.
As I said, I've never had actually, I have played FIFA on the Wii, but that doesn't count.
How does
Even
that
real
work?
FIFA.
Do you like?
The very few times I've had access to real FIFA on a PlayStation or Xbox, every single time I do this, which it's not even a driving game. There's no... Yes, genuinely. I don't even realise I'm doing it until inevitably, after about 5 or 10 minutes of playing, someone will walk past me and whoever I'm playing against and will say, Isaac, why are you doing this? Because I don't know what it is about my brain that thinks somehow if I'm leaning towards the right, my players will just be better at moving towards the goal.
I feel you could write an entire study about that concept specifically. Like growing up, I know because I feel like I immediately started playing games the moment I have like conscious memory. So I've always had it in my life. But when I look at other people who haven't played games as much or like picked it up later, they're very physical in what they do. So if you're playing like a fighting game, you can see them like physically moving, like trying to punch with the controller in their hand. And I've always questioned that because maybe it's like kinematics, your physical actions sync up with what you're thinking about. But like it's always really funny because if you're fighting someone, you like corner of your eye, you just see them actually like jumping up and down on the spot.
I'm
It's really
relieved that
hilarious.
you meant a study about like the population of people who do that, not a study about me specifically and like how weird I am.
I feel we'd have to do a literature review to capture everything we know about you.
I completely forgot that there's Wii boxing as well.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
it
nunchuck,
was so
Yeah,
hard.
with the nunchuck.
Oh yeah.
And you could do like, I can't remember. What
Yeah,
incredibly.
I think I strained my arm doing that.
Crosses.
I think lots of
That's
people have probably
probably-
gotten injured playing that. I reckon lots of people.
I have. There was one particular time. This is my proudest memory. There's a good chance my cousin is watching this. If I give this a shout out on my channel, my most loyal commenter, Alec. Thank you, Alec. I once played against Alec on Wii Sports Boxing, and I genuinely could not understand what we were doing differently because whenever I would look to my right, we were both just mashing. Not mashing.
Spamming.
Yeah, spamming the real life emote of swinging the thing forward.
Oh yeah.
At seemingly random intervals, and yet every match that we would play, he would win. So out of a mixture of, I admit, some kind of like
Skill.
jealousy of him being so good at the game, but also a certain amount of genuine scientific curiosity, I was like, what happens if we switch remotes? Obviously, from his perspective, that becomes a story of, oh, do you remember that time you thought the game was biased against you and wanted to keep swapping remotes until you won? Which, to be fair, I eventually did. I was also partly convinced that it was like something to do with the Mii's we were playing as, because we made Mii's for all of the like past presidential candidates and everything.
As you do.
And we would like make them battle against each other. And it seemed like it would always be whoever won the actual presidential election that year, that Mii would win the match for the first 3 or so we did. So I was like, maybe I'm not bad at this game. Maybe it's just because I'm playing as like Kamala Harris, I'm losing. When I played as Joe Biden against Trump, I won. So like,
That's like do you know about the epic rap battles of history?
I do.
And how they like predicted a lot of the elections. Maybe
Yeah.
you were also like taking part in that.
Which
Yeah.
American president would win? If there was like a huge boxing tournament, like knockout stages, which American president would win?
Like, as in all at their peak physical fitness, or
That's
what
a
they
good
are now?
question. Yeah.
No, when they were in office.
When they were in office.
Like all presidents ever.
I mean, one that
Joe Biden, clearly. Anyone.
I've heard Theodore Roosevelt was like very sporty. He was into
Was he
like
big? Wait, Theodore.
Yeah, Teddy
big
Roosevelt.
wasn't he?
he was into like.
Didn't he have like polio or something? Didn't he? Wasn't he like?
I mean, maybe, but like
I
he
thought he
was known for he was known for like sport and various
Wait, is this
competitions.
the
and
first
stuff.
or the second?
The first Roosevelt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know.
He was definitely sporty, yeah.
The second one, I have no idea. Like,
Yeah,
he might.
I think he was famous for like bringing the polio vaccine to like fruition. during
I mean,
his-
that doesn't
his time.
prevent you from also being sporty.
Yeah, but it's
like,
because he had like
nerd.
I think he was like disabled, and he tried to hide it during his campaign.
Ah,
So
I didn't
he
know
was
that.
like wheelchair bound most of the time.
Hmm.
That's why I thought it was really confused. Like,
Oh, I
the wheelchair
see.
bound president. This
Oh.
guy.
I thought you were saying like because he like helped roll out the polio vaccine in America, that meant he couldn't also be like into sport. I thought that's what you were saying.
No.
Who was the one that was famous? Like, he was like a famous
Wait,
actor.
the famous
president.
Ronald
Yeah.
The one that had like a
Reagan.
banana advert.
Yeah.
Was that
Is that famous for
It was
acting?
Ronald Reagan, wasn't it? He was an actor, yeah.
I don't know if it was in an advert. He was in films and stuff. Like, presumably he was more famous for that.
I don't know if this was like a dream or
What?
I just had.
You had a
there's
dream
like
with an American
he was like
president and a banana.
He wore like a banana thing.
The Mayo
What
Clinic
he wore?
experience.
But like a banana costume.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
No, he didn't wear a banana on his head.
No, he wore like a. You wore a banana. Yeah. There was
Maybe
someone
it
that
was
wore
you.
like a
Maybe you're thinking
banana,
of Simon.
and then he had like a. There's like a chimp.
What?
Are you thinking of like Curious George and like?
No.
I'm pretty sure you're thinking of Curious George and the Man in the Yellow Hat.
It's Curious George Washington, yeah.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, he was famous for that, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Reprising his role as the monkey Curious George.
I remember
Glad we cleared that
HBGCSE. I swear I remember a picture.
I don't know.
You're hallucinating.
And that was one of my best subjects.
He's
So I got 8.
Jesus.
And I remember, all I remember is
about the
someone
banana president.
that had like a banana and a chimp.
maybe it was just
Maybe the teacher was like, wow, his research is so good, I've never even heard of this.
graded it on like a fiction basis.
It's
really great.
It would be so awesome if this did happen. Like,
How cool would it be if a president dressed up as a banana and had a cool animal
Right.
like Curious George?
By the way, on the Wii again, did you ever
I think
it's the best console ever made, but
Well,
Did you
I
ever
have a
create-
contention about that, but go on.
did you ever create like character? You know when you create memes, did you ever create like characters? Like, did you recreate famous characters?
oh, absolutely.
Oh, he
Like the
created
president.
every president.
So
Yeah,
many.
because I did Scooby Doo. Because like
Not Shaggy, like
no,
specifically
Scooby Doo. Because
How do you make
because
a
like
dog?
his ears, like the dog ears. I think it's a mustache. I
Yeah,
think
you
a
can
mustache.
do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
You raise
yeah,
the
you move
height.
it high
So the
enough.
height and the
Wait,
the
so you
angle
watch
is up
me
here.
bit?
So I made a mustache, but then yeah, you raise the height up here, change the angle, and it makes dog ears. So you can make Scooby Doo.
Maybe you should stay further out because it would be quite funny having a sort of disembodied voice talking about Scooby Doo on the
We're all
Wii.
just staring at empty space.
Yeah. Well, my cousin made Daft Punk. I don't know if you know Daft Punk.
Yeah.
With like the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the yellow one
It
with
was
the
something
one.
similar to do with like if you choose the right eyebrows and move them to the right place, and the nose was the mouth, something like that. It was very impressive. I wouldn't have known where to start, but we did. My cousin and I together, we made quite a few UK politicians. As I mentioned, quite a few.
Your life is
presidential
really
candidates.
political and
We,
respect.
Well, I mean, yeah. I don't know. Most of them, my cousin would come up with the idea, and then we would discuss together. Maybe my cousin's more political than I realised. I don't know. But to be fair, we would make them of all parties. You know, it wasn't.
There was no bias.
No.
No favoritism.
And then and then they would all get punched in the boxing. So,
Yeah.
which I think is something we'd love to see in real life. If that makes
I
sense.
reckon like politicians used to do that back in the UK, like back in the day in the UK. I feel I can picture like famous politicians in my head, like
I
fisticuffing
have
out
seen an
people.
interesting post at some point saying that it would genuinely be better for politics if world leaders just got into a ring and fought each other instead of making the rest of the world fight their battles.
Yeah.
I seem to recall something similar to that. It's like tangential a little bit, but I'm pretty sure a major conflict was resolved through chess at one point in history.
I have heard this. I have no idea any of the specifics.
Yeah, I don't either.
But it
I
rings
just
a bell.
I remember that specifically,
Mm.
but I think that would be pretty cool for esports. Imagine you settle like a major conflict and just like whoever can beat whoever at Counter-Strike 2.
Smash Bros.
instead of war, you just have two teams playing
Esports.
CS:GO.
I think that's how we solve the underfunding issue in esports. Like, we solve major conflicts with them.
Get the US like military
Yeah.
industrial complex involved.
It's just everyone suddenly becomes a gamer instead.
Yeah.
How do you right click?
a very wholesome world that would be, I think.
But what would be the consequences? Well, you'd wear something that would like kill you. If you
No!
What?
No!
No,
None of us were suggesting that.
This is like some sort of online levels of like
if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Yeah, I think it would just be like you agree to terms before you enter the esports
So
arena.
you agree
And
if
then-
you lose, then you have to whatever.
Agree to like the concession or whatever. It is.
Give up Greenland.
Yeah, exactly.
Topical reference.
Dating the
Ding
podcast.
ding ding.
From Wii Sports to politics.
I love how we instant, like, as soon as the word politics was mentioned, you were like, let's stray away from that.
Yeah,
very
it's
quickly.
a
I tried to bring it back to Wii. I
In
tried.
fairness, it was
Well,
my fault for mentioning the presidents. I do apologise.
It's alright. Back onto the topic of the Wii, you kept saying it's the greatest console in history.
Yeah.
Now, I think statistically, they have the most sales of any console in history.
I mean it in a very specific way.
But
I mean, it's just, obviously it's a personal opinion. I don't mean anything to do with sales or like the specifications, technical details. Just,
goated.
yeah, like it's so much fun, but it's not loads of bullshit. Like all that extra payments, not too complicated, just pure, good, honest fun.
I think, in my humble opinion, and it is humble, Xbox 360 was the best console.
Okay, I never had an
And
Xbox.
it's good. I do respect that.
That
It's
was
right that you're humble,
Yeah.
because that is wrong.
It's wrong. Well, I feel that's just like so many games were defined by like the experience Xbox 360 provided. Like you could just enter a call with anyone that you played with online and just talk about whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember playing.
Like the parties was such an integral aspect of gaming back then, and I think it really did define like that era, and has come to the point now where everyone who plays games online, they all enter like a Discord call and talk while they're playing the game, right?
Yeah.
And that was, I think, the first major instance of that happening.
But I think
Was
the
that
good
Xbox
thing,
360 first
Yeah.
time?
the good thing
Well,
about
maybe
Nintendo
not the first, but
and
certainly
not
the most
like
popular one.
the good thing about Nintendo and not other consoles is there's like a family feel to it, like a nostalgic family feel that you don't really get from Xbox when you're shouting at.
Can I just point out very quickly, before we started recording, the other three were worried about mentioning the fact that there were Doritos on the table because that would count as product placement.
Yeah.
And then we've spent 20 minutes dragging the conversation back to Nintendo and how much we love their Wii.
Yeah.
Which
the gaming console.
I stand by my words, but I do find it interesting that we weren't allowed to mention a crisp packet on the table.
All of our opinions are solely our own opinions.
Yeah.
Other consoles are
And
available.
we're grateful for our funding from Nintendo.
No, we don't receive.
If they send me like a Nintendo Switch 2, then you know it's the best console.
Well, we're just going to censor every mention of Nintendo and the Wii.
Otherwise.
Yeah, it's like the
Nintendo Switch 2.
I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but it's like a black box.
But to back to the original brief, a nostalgic childhood memory that you fondly remember. That's where this began.
Yes.
What I gave my obviously video game.
Yeah.
What are your fond childhood memories?
Actually,
Do you have
can
one?
Can I give mine?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we were just before we started the podcast, we were talking a bit about it. Did you say turkey is the best fowl? Of all the fowls, turkey is the best.
Well, I think that is it's a controversial opinion, and it's one I've held my entire life, really.
Do you not think turkey is just dry?
I think good.
Maybe depends how you cook it.
No,
It's
no,
a
but-
skill
Your
issue,
turkey
I
is
think.
great,
But
Tom.
you have it once a year. Like,
No.
you don't have. When do you have turkey?
Every
It's
time.
only at Christmas.
Look, okay, I'm not going to say the explicit chain that I used to go to as a kid. You
Yeah.
know, adopting myself and other chains are available. But
Would you go there by metro?
when I was a kid, we used to drive to a carvery, and every single time that failed, the only meat I got was turkey. I didn't
One
get beef. I
of
didn't
the
get
many
cow, I
famous
got pork.
Did you go with
carveries.
your friends?
No, just my family. I think my
Oh.
friends came occasionally.
What was your brother's name? Tobias? Or something?
Funny enough, it wasn't that chain. I don't know if they still existed. It might have gone into administration.
No, I think the worst thing is you didn't go for the free meat option. You
No.
had a
Well,
slice of each
see,
one.
this is the problem. When you go to a carvery, right? If you're on a good day, the beef is nice and it isn't like stringy and because I used to. This is weird, but I used to choke a lot on food as a kid. If it was like of different consistency, I don't know if you've ever had mange too, but I choked on mange too very often as a kid. So
Yeah.
anytime there was stringy meat, which beef very often is, and sometimes it was very dry, the pork. So I never ever ate those. The only other one I used to like was the gammon, but the gammon was rarely on. So I always used to get the turkey every single time, and I enjoyed it every single time. It was my favourite item. On the
I just broke down because
the sequel.
I didn't want to forget to mention how excited I am for Monge 3 to come out.
Oh my yes. If you choked on Monge 2, Monge 3 will kill you.
You're just looking at that, I think, yeah.
I'm sorry, please do continue.
But that's what maybe it's like a case of nostalgia, and every time I eat turkey, I just get like
Yeah.
childhood memories back. But I really genuinely do think the best cooked turkey is far superior than the best cooked chicken. And
maybe,
if you've ever had a turkey leg, that only emboldens my argument. I feel a good I've had turkey legs all the time. They're the best part of turkey.
Just the turkey.
And they are really good. Genuinely, you could eat as much KFC drumsticks as you want. Doesn't even come close to a turkey leg.
Do you put cranberry sauce on it?
No.
Just
I just have it as is.
And it's moist.
Well, yes. If you cook it well. Look, mister, this guy can't cook to save his life. If he entered into a competition where genuinely his life was on the line, he would just forfeit because he has no chance.
I can cook a really good pot noodle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I can boil the water and pour it in.
I do think regarding the poultry question, you're sort of rephrasing of it to say, the best turkey exceeds or is superior to the best chicken, at least if I'm understanding correctly. I think it genuinely brings up an interesting question about when you say a category is better than another, are you saying the best thing in category A is better than the best of category B, or are you saying on average? And if so, are you saying mean, median? I know we don't think about this in detail, but I feel like what Thomas was saying was that maybe you're right about the best ever turkey versus the best ever chicken, but the others, I gather, would generally feel that your average turkey is dry, or at least. But that's what Thomas was saying. Potentially, that's a skill issue. I don't know.
Based on my sampling, on what my random sampling.
N equals.
Yeah. Well, every time I've had
what statistical test did you use?
I would ballpark
Never try and have a fun conversation with biologists.
I would ballpark maybe 30 in my life.
Okay.
Turkey, individual instances of eating turkey from different.
So did you compare two with a teeth?
Well, I won't get.
Did you assume they would normally disagree?
Well, sampling bias and everything. Got to account for that. But
and remember that correlation does not always equal causation.
Yeah, I feel generally the reason I chose the best chicken versus the best turkey is I feel generally chicken is representative in a general sentiment that it is the best of all the poultry. I think most people would agree with that statement.
What do you think?
It's the only one that most people regularly have, I would venture to say.
I think that's a result of it being the fan favourite. Everyone likes chicken.
I think chicken is also much more. You can do much more with it. It's cooked in many more different ways. Turkey is pretty much always you have roast turkey.
That is true.
Chicken you do more stuff with.
It's quite constrained, but I feel turkey's constrained because it has its own flavour, whereas chicken doesn't really have a flavour. It just takes on the flavour of its surroundings, whereas turkey has its identity. Chicken is you could replace it with tofu. Whatever you cook it with is really good. That's what makes it good. If you have just boiled chicken and you've not seasoned it, you're not going to like it, are you?
Do you guys eat chicken with
has no flavour?
Yeah.
If it's crispy, yeah. If it's soggy, not so much.
Okay.
That is a good question.
There's a Chinese dish called bapchik gay, and it's basically the chicken is pretty moist. I don't know why I keep saying the word moist, but the chicken that one. But it actually doesn't taste like anything. There's the spring onions and stuff that you put on top that makes it taste nice. And I think it's kind of the same with turkey though. But if you do the same thing with turkey, it's just a bit more tough compared to chicken.
Turkey has a flavour. Picture in my head what turkey tastes like. Turkey tastes very distinct to chicken. I think chicken generally hasn't got as much of a flavour profile as turkey does. And I feel I'm going to liken this to an argument that is a very popular one by streamer Doug. Doug is insistent that potatoes don't taste good, and then it's the salt and the butter that you cook them with that makes it good. Right. I think it's a similar case with chicken, not to the same degree, but a similar argument can be made for chicken. Whereas turkey genuinely does have a taste, and you eat turkey for its taste, not because of the stuff you put with it. I feel.
I do think that's fair. I think that's accurate.
So that for me, defining it as within its own surroundings, turkey is the best.
So do you define chips as a vessel for condiments?
I feel that you would definitely agree with that, Mr. Condiment.
Yeah.
That's a genuinely interesting question, and I don't know what my take is on that yet. I think I need to, much like the chicken, I need to marinate in that question for a little bit.
My take is gobble, gobble, gobble.
I have a question for everyone. and it's very serious
Okay.
in this political climate.
Wait, can I say something super quickly?
Yes.
So you know, Ethan, you know how you said you like choked on March 2?
Almost.
This
Yeah.
is weird, but I once lost a tooth by eating not an apple or anything, but on a yogurt.
How do you do
Just
that?
like the softest food. I lost a tooth.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Was it frozen?
No, just normal yogurt.
How do you bite down on the?
No.
Was it a loose tooth already, or was it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was gonna fall out.
I think I lost a tooth eating pizza. Pizza. Other pizzas are available.
Yeah.
Was the yogurt like pity for Lou? Can you remember that?
There is a chance it was. There is a chance. Yeah.
It's kind of that's the one that you get strong bones from, isn't it? That's the advert.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm an avid milk drinker.
Oh, yeah.
So I agree.
You can chug like 2 liters.
How many pints is that again?
Well, no, I can't. I've never chugged 2 liters, but I have chugged an entire liter of milk in one go.
How many pints is that?
I think it's 2 pints of milk.
Is a pint of
A pint's like 500
It's
plus.
like 5, 6, 8, I think.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah, it is.
it was 2 pints specifically. It was more than a liter technically.
But I think the
It was 2
problem
pints.
is you drank a
yeah.
lot of alcohol and then you had.
Well, no, these
Oh,
are 2
that's
separate.
nice.
I did it twice. It was 2 separate events. So before we return back to our conversation, I'll just quickly, address this. So
Address the
address the milk allegation. So we had a night out. We went to. Beforehand, I was very hungry. I hadn't eaten yet, so I went to a famous chicken chain near here and had an entire meal. And then about 2-3 hours later, it must have been at least 3. After several alcoholic drinks like cocktails and beer, whatever, I got really thirsty walking home because I realised I hadn't drunk anything like hydrating the whole time.
Yeah.
So I was really thirsty, and I know that milk is. I mean, I might be completely wrong about this, but generally I thought in my head, milk is more hydrating than water, and I really like milk, and it's extremely cheap.
Is that
It's
true?
like £1.25. I think it's to do with like the salts in it. Like, you have these like hydrating beverages, and they just increase like the osmolality of the solution. Anyway, I'm digressing. So I bought this. It was at a spa. Again, other chains are available. I bought a litre, 2 pints of milk, and Thomas and our other friends had just wandered off into the distance, like under a bridge or something at that point, in the direction we're travelling.
In the direction of
with
troll.
Relative to the vector that they were travelling in. So I just opened it, and I was so thirsty, I just drank the whole thing. And the moment I finished it, I regretted it.
Not before then.
No, like the instant I finished the milk, not because of the milk itself, but because I had a whole meal, like a chicken and chips meal, and several like rather sizable amounts of alcohol beforehand.
Wait, so is that why you like
So my stomach was
turkey
full.
more than chicken? Because you
had one bad
linked
experience.
a bad experience of chicken and milk.
Maybe I've got like PTSD related to like chicken consumption. I don't know. I don't think so though. We digress. You brought up a point.
Yogurt. Yeah. I was just saying,
Ah,
I lost
yes.
a tooth on yogurt of all things.
Wait, but
I'm
how
very
did you
sorry
do
to
that?
hear that.
Yeah,
How
it was
did you
quite
do-
traumatic actually.
How did you lose your teeth?
I was just eating the yogurt. It was literally just
Did you bite the spoon?
no, like kind of slurping. The yogurt. I mean, you can't.
That's how they
chew
get
yogurt. You can't chew
Well, no,
yogurt.
you just swallow it. Like
Yeah, it's kind of like you like move it around your mouth.
Actually,
and
how
swallow
do
it.
you eat yogurt?
It's not chewing.
it's like the same way I eat
Are
noodles.
you asking for like a tutorial?
Yeah.
He hasn't eaten any to this point. He
I'm
chose
not
to
eating
do that.
Firstly, you open it.
Do you just like swirl it around your mouth? I don't know.
Well,
Have you never eaten yogurt?
I have eaten yogurt.
I
But
feel
now
like-
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, how
We're entering to a realm of like debates about the viscosity of the yogurt.
What do you have to do with that?
Fundamentally
That's why I
similar
had
to
some.
liquids, I would imagine.
Well,
Well,
like-
just kind of you create some kind of pressure in your mouth or the kind of
Well, I think it's a negative pressure, if anything, because it's like you're trying to ingest it. If you made positive pressure, you'd be like throwing it up, right?
Yeah, I mean I guess that's what I was getting at with the general term pressures.
Mhm.
I didn't specify a positive or negative pressure, just to be
Very
clear.
important
Don't be
distinction.
misquoting me on this. I will let my position be clear. I was implying that some process involving pressure, probably due to. I mean, I'd imagine your tongue is a very flexible muscle. I'd imagine that it's in some way just instinctive. It's the most flexible muscle in your body.
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't
Yeah.
know that. Yeah.
In all genders.
As far as I know.
I have a competing theory. It's not like when you're eating food, it's not pressure that causes you to. Is it pressure? Like air pressure?
Well, I'm not.
It's
negative
a force.
pressure.
I'm talking about
It's just
yogurt.
force. Of,
Here's something, and this is a very sus statement to say. I know a lot about the mechanics of swallowing, specifically because, and
Write that down.
I
That.
remember being very proud of this as a kid. I don't know if you ever had like sherbet as a kid,
Yeah.
but I was very proud of the fact that I could have it, like the whole tube of like a sherbet fountain or whatever, and not choke on it. And I noticed the only way you can actually swallow anything is if you create a seal around whatever it is you're attempting to swallow. So if you have like water, and unless you can open your larynx to a point that you can just swallow regardless, so that's like cuts out most of people that eat anything ever, you know, you have to create a seal in order to swallow anything.
Shout out to all my people who eat things.
and don't attempt this at home because you'll probably choke. But if you try and swallow something like a glass of water, you just try and drink it, and you don't create a seal, you can't do it. Unless you have the ability to just open your larynx, which I know some people do, like competitive drinkers, like Badlands chokes.
Ranked
drinkers.
Have you seen I've seen a guy as well. He drank like liters of oil as well.
He drank what?
No, it's not that Chugs guy.
Badlands choke.
Yeah, not him. It was another guy. He drank like 2 liters of sunflower oil or 4 liters of sunflower oil. Or something.
Is he keto dieting or something?
No. He's just doing
That's
it.
a lot of calories.
Is that like a challenge? Or...
Yeah, it's just a challenge. Yeah. I think he was immediately ill afterwards.
I would imagine so. 2 liters of anything is quite a lot. Never mind sunflower oil.
Yeah.
How did this come up in your feed?
I don't know. It's just one of those things you get recommended.
Maybe
I
it's
do
all the
chugging
banana.
oil.
Maybe that you get recommended.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
said.
probably your thing.
I get recommended sea lions.
What's on everyone's recommended?
Why do we have a look?
Sea lions.
I can't. It's on my phone.
Can I, very briefly, before we move on from food, can I bring up 2 things that I've noted down
Go
here?
for it.
Firstly, as a fun fact, so when you were talking about poultry, I found it very interesting that you, in your relatively long list of poultry, which included pigeons and quail and
Cornish game
Cornish-
hen.
Cornish
Unironically, very famous game bird.
Cornish game hen.
Yeah.
You did mention geese. I mentioned geese
You
because
mentioned geese, yeah.
they used to be, at least
Definitely.
my understanding is, they used to be the main bird people would have at Christmas. It's what Scrooge buys at the end of Christmas Carol. And I find it so interesting how they're not only are they no longer the main bird of Christmas, they've been superseded by turkeys, presumably because of the influence of the US.
Yeah,
I don't know enough about the history of food to know if that's true. I'm just spreading information, be it misinformation or otherwise. However, you didn't mention geese, and I found that interesting because while in English we say turkeys voting for Christmas, in German they say the equivalent of geese voting for Christmas. Something along the lines of als würden die Gänse Weihnachten wählen. I find that very interesting.
Well, I've never heard the phrase turkeys voting for Christmas.
You haven't?
I've not heard
Not
It
a
refers
single
to,
time
in politics, it refers to where, we're back on this, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh,
It
I get
refers,
what
it
you
refers
get
to
what it means.
when people
vote
vote.
against your interest.
Exactly. People say, oh, it's like turkeys voting for Christmas. But
Yeah.
in German they say geese voting for Christmas.
Well,
I found that very interesting.
I have a bit of, because I recently found that out, maybe it was, I don't know, 6 months ago that geese were. And I think the original intention with geese being the chosen game bird for eating at Christmas was rich people in England would eat geese. And the less good birds that were considered not to be not as nice were eaten by poorer people.
That's true.
So that's why geese was the traditional meat. But I think maybe the idea of, because obviously turkeys have been selectively bred to be so big and weirdly shaped so that they look better once cooked or something, that maybe that's what transitioned it from that. Because obviously geese are quite large birds, and other birds that you would eat traditionally aren't actually as large. So I imagine maybe it's the size of the turkey.
Well, so it's a status symbol
Yeah,
of the rich.
definitely, yeah.
That is a very good point.
Like pineapples as well. Again, a tangent, but pineapples, I kid you not, in the, I don't know what period of history, but before like modern history, those rich people, like aristocrats, would rent pineapples from fruit vendors.
Was it the Victorians?
Maybe.
I'm sure it was.
And they would just have it on display to just flaunt their wealth, that they can afford to have a pineapple in their house.
Yeah.
Which, crazy flex, that you can just be like, I have a pineapple, you don't have a pineapple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that reminds me of the tulip economic bubble of the Netherlands in the 1600s. It was the first case. It was
Hold on. buying a pineapple, renting one out. The tulip crisis in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
Tulips,
it's a similar thing of like a ridiculous sort of status symbol that people would spend money on at absolutely no benefit to themselves, and arguably not a particularly pleasant decoration. I mean, maybe I just have different taste in home decor from the Victorians, but like a pineapple in your home, it's not providing any utilitarian value unless you eat it, and it's not the kind of thing you look at and inherently go, this would make a good decoration. It's just once it gets seen as something that only rich people can have, then certain types of people who either are rich and want to show that off, or aren't particularly rich and want to appear richer than they are, will go to extraordinary lengths to obtain that status symbol, despite it having no utilitarian value and or them not appreciating its subjective artistic value. And that reminds me very much of my limited understanding of the tulip bubble of the 17th century. To be clear, not claiming to in the Netherlands. I'm not claiming. I'm not claiming to be an economist or anything.
An expert in.
No, absolutely.
Well,
I'm not claiming to be an expert on anything I talk about, by the way.
Well, it's like the modern day when people have like clothing that's really expensive, or even Supreme. They released a brick, and people would buy it for like £500.
Yeah, like so many designer T-shirts are basically just like a grey T-shirt with a little logo in the corner.
Yeah.
It's like
Is that a great T-shirt with a logo in the corner?
I'm 100% genuine. That was not directed at
Subliminal
you.
messaging.
That was very That's a phrase I've been using for years. Usually with Supreme, and other brands are available.
Yeah.
I mean, if Supreme like gives us a sponsorship.
Well, I was just making fun of them, so
I'm sure they'll want to reach out.
they'll be rubbing their hands at the free promotion
like a fly.
of me talking about how stupid I find their products.
I can't wait to get my hands on a Supreme wrench. That's going to come out soon.
Supreme did everything. I didn't know they're launching a wrench though.
And then
Did they actually? I thought you were joking.
The Supreme brick.
What?
Yeah, they released a brick with Supreme on it.
Like just a red brick.
Yeah.
Oh no, I believe that. I thought you were making the wrench up.
No,
I think the wrench is a thing as well.
I feel like
I get that's branching into DIY.
I can imagine that's actually
Yeah, I
useful.
mean you could generally.
Well, bricks are
use that
useful as
for
well.
something. Yeah.
You just need like 10,000 and you can build a house.
Supreme
House.
house.
That's the next project. That's what we need. Supreme house.
No, the con is going to be
Supreme
like,
triple glazed windows.
it'll be more expensive. They'll come out with a Supreme house and it'll be more expensive than just buying 10,000 Supreme bricks and building it.
I mean, you would expect it to, in fairness.
Yeah, it's a labour cost.
I can't believe I'm defending a hypothetical Supreme that sell a house for inflated prices, but you would expect the house to be more expensive than the sum of its parts.
I would just like to point out that we essentially got to the heart of like flaunting wealth for no utilitarian value, and then immediately shifted to Supreme house. And we've not acknowledged the just immediate shift of like the irony of that.
I think I was worried about sort of derailing the conversation too much with my notes here, but as you have just pointed out, we very quickly shifted from a reasonable discussion about sort of flaunting wealth to
One of the notes says
Supreme house.
how hungry.
That's what I want to address right now.
Yeah, let's move on.
Earlier you said, I believe the phrase was, correct me if I'm wrong, quite hungry. And I have to explain, because I'm sure this will come up in future episodes and I will confuse everyone unless I explain now. Anytime the word hungry is used in a conversation, especially if it's the phrase very hungry or quite hungry, I can't help but reply, how hungry? This dates back to a meme I saw around 2 years ago that I'm still quoting very regularly to this day, which said, some guy, man, I'm so hungry. His horse nervously. How hungry. I've quoted this meme and all imaginable variations thereupon, including when I once said to my dad, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. The horse nervously. How thirsty. And many, many other variations thereupon, including different animals, different adjectives, different intensifiers. The only thing that remains is the tone of voice.
I'm so glad. I don't
How glad.
I don't know how we've managed to get onto horse-related memes, but I remember the meme you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
And not only do I remember that meme, but it brought me to another in my memory. Like I've got I've almost like a mind palace of memes. To be honest.
Can you find the horse section?
Ironically, I have got another horse-related
It
meme,
so sounds like my brain.
What?
I relate so much.
but only for memes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a meme back. I think it was 2020. I think was the year that meme came out into popular.
Early 2020.
Yeah. So it was probably late 2019, early 2020.
Okay.
So then the COVID era.
Yeah, just pre-COVID. It was PC, pre-COVID. And this meme was literally the word Juan, as in like the name of like, and it was a horse on a balcony.
Yeah, it's a good one.
How that horse got there,
Yeah.
all then proceeded to leave the balcony
Yeah.
because there was no obvious entrance or exit leading to the balcony that a horse could fit through. But Juan is there.
Yeah.
And that not only that I think that was the genesis of like modern horse memes. This is a very niche subject, but after that,
Niche but surprisingly broad once you dive into it.
yeah, as most things are generally.
I suppose genres of memes are a bit like fields of research. Where like as a lay member of the public, you would hear the phrase cell adhesion. I mean, I mentioned my cell adhesion lecture unit to one of my flatmates recently, who doesn't do biology, and he was very surprised that there's a whole lecture unit on cell
I
adhesion.
thought you said there's a hole in the cell.
Several of them.
No, I mean, and I could understand why, but I also thought from my perspective, like you could do a whole lecture unit just on integrins,
Oh, easily.
like let alone on cell adhesion. Like cell adhesion felt like it was, pardon the pun, spreading quite thinly, if anything, much like cells when they're on thick ECM.
When you've got a high Young's modulus.
Yeah, call me a tumor cell with and go.
This is
Participating in a positive feedback loop involving fibrosis right now, the way I'm spreading quite thinly.
back on the horse.
I want to write that one down.
So are we leaving that in?
Yeah.
We're definitely leaving that one in.
Okay, back to the horse.
Back to horse memes.
Yes.
So I remember distinctly after Juan was sort of popularized, there was, and I feel very much like a YouTube channel called Lessons in Meme Culture. That guy's quite just a brief shout out to him. But there was a horse, several horse memes after that, which included I think another person who popularized it after that was PewDiePie, because he had his Minecraft series which was extremely popular, and he had a horse that everyone quoted all the time. But there was a GTA, I think it was GTA mod, where there was like a horse suspended in the air, and it was just rapidly rotated in different directions, and its like physical size was morphed as well.
Is that where the German reels come from? Horizontal rotierendes Pferd.
I'm not going to
I can't.
That's
I can't be the only one here
Yeah, I'm
who's
sure
seen
there's
this.
I don't think I've seen this.
I've seen an unfathomable amount of German memes with various things either horizontally or vertically rotating in the air, and a sort of auto-generated voiceover that will say, "Oh nein, horizontal rotierende Fisch."
I did see that.
Right?
That's really recent as well.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what you were describing brought that image straight to my mind.
Well, that's
Is this an ancestor of the rotierendes Pferd meme?
Well, I think it goes even further back than that, really. Like, there are memes that I remember, so I was talking about this last night, actually, quite funny. There's a meme which is, so do you know I'm not going to sing it because it'll get copyright striked, but the lyrics are, "Don't cry, I am just a freak." I think it's like Freaks by, I don't remember the artist, but that lyric specifically, it was changed from "Don't cry, I am just a fish," and it's a fish rotating on the horizontal axis with the lyrics. They didn't change the audio, they just put the text, "I am just a fish," and it's just a fish rotating. That's from like 2017 or something.
I've never heard of any of these memes before.
I feel like I do have an almost.
It's kind of a niche. It's kind of a niche area, isn't it?
I have a whole folder for saving horse and fish memes.
Mm.
They're combined into one, horse and fish memes. I have another folder
Are you
for
being serious?
Fred. I'm being 100% serious. Horse and fish memes has like 200 saved memes in it.
That's incredible.
German memes, Freddy Fazbear related memes.
Wait, Freddy, as in
Some-
Five Nights at Freddy's?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Some
why is
memes,
it
some
so
memes fit into some memes fit into multiple of my folders.
I feel you should adopt like a tags related database that you can just search by tag rather than.
That would be so like a CRISPR library.
Yeah, exactly.
With barcode tags.
Yeah.
But for my memes.
Yeah.
It would be interesting because some of them do overlap.
Because that way you don't have to run into the trouble of duplicating them to.
Yeah, and it would be, you could do kind of the equivalent of transcriptomics with like how many likes are on.
Have we
these
really
memes.
explored the multi-omics aspect of memes? Do we have like an encyclopedic keg-like database for all memes that we can reference? I think this needs to be explored.
I think the rationale in my introduction for this dissertation I'm about to write, the part of the introduction where they're clarifying that no one's worked on this before. Like, however, the integration of multi-omics regarding meme genres remains incompletely understood.
Well,
therefore,
so you have a section of like fish and horses.
Yeah, that's in one.
That's in one of them.
Yeah.
And then why do you have a Five Nights at Freddy's?
Because I have so many Five Nights at Freddy's memes. I have hundreds.
I have a very SpongeBob that you haven't.
I don't.
SpongeBob memes are good. They're one of my favourites. SpongeBob ones are very, very good.
I'll make a note of that. If they ever come up,
I think SpongeBob ranks in my top 3 memes. Really.
It's one of the best. Confused Mr. Krabs. The caveman SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
It's called I can't remember the name. He has a name. He has a caveman name.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a relative wealth of SpongeBob memes sporadically, but not in the form of like Instagram Reels, or not consistently enough on Instagram that I've ever felt like they're popping up frequently enough for me to make a folder for them. But probably now that I think about it over time, I have probably seen a large enough amount.
I would say that the most popular ones that have almost become like separate from, they've been abstracted to like a term almost.
Yes.
Which are the first one I would say that I think is the most popular is, oh brother, this guy stinks.
Yes.
That is an extremely popular one that I see all the time. And then the other one, which I see seldomly often, is, no, this is Patrick.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other one that I see a lot. And I quote that one all the time. I love SpongeBob.
Did you guys watch SpongeBob as a kid?
Yeah.
I did.
Of course.
You've missed out. You should go back and actually watch it.
Apparently it's really good.
Yeah.
Like even now.
It's good. I would watch it. Yeah, I would watch it now. Yeah.
Peppa Pig, guys.
So true.
Did you? I found this out yesterday as well. Apparently, Peppa Pig is her mother is pregnant or was pregnant at some point recently, and it made national news.
I didn't know that.
Congratulations.
To Mother Pig.
Mother Pig.
Yeah.
Mummy Pig, I believe she was.
Oh, Mummy
the
Pig.
Government name.
Mother Pig.
First name Mummy.
Last name Pig.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the like dank memes that they had of Peppa Pig?
Yeah, they're good.
The MLG and that kind of stuff.
Dank memes were like, I think when memes were popularized really, like like the really crude drawings of like stick figures. I think that was like the initial, like big explosion of memes. And obviously got the Velociraptor and like that one like baby sitting on a beach like talking whatever. Those are like
I haven't
Genesis
seen
memes.
dank Peppa Pig memes. I did recently see a YouTube video that was an edit of the most recent season of The Traitors. Where all of the characters were replaced by Peppa Pig characters. Some of them were surprisingly fitting. I don't know if anyone has seen season 4 Traitors UK. Hugo was replaced by Daddy Pig, which was just a perfect casting choice in the sense that there's this moment where one of the contestants called Hugo they're all sitting at breakfast and he goes, "Whoever has killed Ben is beyond mean," and just the tone in his voice and then the sort of awkward silence from those around him. When you see Daddy Pig say this line and then all the other Peppa Pig characters staring back at him awkwardly, I cannot think of anything more perfect. I'm so glad, even if the internet is the downfall of humanity, there are moments like this that do make me wonder if it might still be worth it. The Traitors,
Peppa Pig.
Yes.
Daddy Pig.
Yes.
I love that so much. I think that specifically, something I think about a lot related to that is the fact that memes have really been adopted by people. So before, like memes were quite like homogenous in that everyone sort of used the same format, the same memes, and it was like you'd have weeks where memes would be popular and then they'd die and then a new meme would take its place. But everyone used it, and it was like you'd see it in every corner of the internet. I feel now memes have become such like a captured thing that everyone and every community and every part of, I mean, not even just the internet, but like daily life, every culture has their own niche meme that they specifically relate to.
And then you're surprised when I find it eternally surprising some of the memes I'm familiar with that so many other people have never even seen, and I thought they were ubiquitous, but they're obviously not, and vice versa. The amount of times someone will say, you haven't seen this? It's my entire feed, and I've never heard or seen it in my life.
I think the memes that you guys have are very different to the memes that I have. A lot of mine are quite depressing. Do you guys have depressing memes?
I think that's a topic for the next podcast. But I want to posit this to you, everyone in the room and the audience at home. I believe that came about because of COVID. Because before COVID, memes were like a more niche thing, right? You heard of them about, but you weren't interacting with them directly. Then everyone was indoors and on the internet all the time, and they saw the memes that were there and decided to make their own about their own community. And I think the internet sort of fractured into its own parts, that everyone has like communities they transition between, and each community has their own meme. And I think that was brought about because of COVID. Our lives were like put onto the internet.
As a side effect of COVID and people spending more time online, basically.
I think memes were revolutionised because of COVID.
Do you think that if the world was going to end in 10 days, do you think there'd just be lots of memes about it?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And it would be funny.
And do you think memes are a way that people cope with reality?
I do think that's true. Really quick, on your point, I very much could be wrong about this, but my gut feeling with regard to a lot of things that people attribute to COVID is that, at least in most cases, I don't think COVID tends to be the root cause of changes that we see. Say, if we compare now to like 10 years ago, I think very, very commonly COVID is either one of a couple of major contributing factors or exacerbated or accelerated some kind of trend that had already started. It may be that in this case you're right and that it entirely was something that COVID just started a shift. But I think it's also very possible that because just gradually, you know, the internet became more and more ubiquitous throughout the 2010s, and it became less of a thing that some people were in the know about the internet and some people weren't. And then with that comes some people are in the know about memes and others aren't. And eventually more and more people are kind of vaguely in the know about memes. And I think naturally with that, with the fact that it stops being, you know, memers, people who are familiar with memes are their own community and relatively niche, and they're a small enough community that there's relative homogeneity of the memes, so to speak, that eventually when the community of people who are familiar with memes becomes basically everyone on the internet, which at this point is billions of people, it's impossible for that to remain one community who are all familiar with the same memes. And it eventually becomes, you know, denominations of memes. There's like people who are, I don't even know, like, you know.
Actually, there are like Facebook people that have Facebook memes. So
yeah, I was going to say they're just catching up on like the original genre of memes. I still see some kind of, you know, older individuals using like styles of memes from the early 2010s. Not even that isn't as common as it was a few years ago, but it's like people use memes that are decades out of date.
Imagine seeing the Velociraptor now. Imagine that came out
like unironically
used.
No, like people do use like, you know, image with top text, bottom text. And it's like that is a completely different world from what memes are now. It's fascinating.
I think memes nowadays are more random. Like, you know, like the 6-7 one.
Don't bring 6-7, please.
But if you think more about it, in our day, we had like the Markiplier E meme.
I remember you talking about this.
I completely agree on that. This is why I don't like the sort of I genuinely see kind of snobbery from people our age saying like, oh, the next generation is so cooked, our memes were so much better. And it's like, if we're actually being objective, they were not. Like the 21 video, the only sense in which I do agree that there is a difference between the 21 video and 6-7, which is 21 is a natural thing that happened that was funny in its own right and then was referenced. 6-7, my understanding is at least that it is a meaningless number that was made up to be funny. But fundamentally, it's the same sort of psychological thing. If you hear a thing and it's associated with everyone laughing at it, eventually it becomes funny to you as well. That is what has happened to me. That is how my brain has become infected with 6-7 brain rot. I bought a vegan schnitzel from Lidl a few weeks ago, which on the packet it says cooks in 6 to 7 minutes, and I sent a photo of it to multiple group chats because I found it that funny. I agree that's a problem with my brain. I agree 6-7 is fundamentally not funny, but I can't help but laugh nonetheless. Because I've been Pavloved into associating the number with laughter, therefore I laugh when I see or hear the number.
Actually,
that's all I'm saying on the matter.
This happened to me quite recently when a lecturer did this, when he said something. In my head, I couldn't...
On my second day in the lab, in my lab project, the technician was talking to a PhD student and was like, "Oh, how many bottles of media do you need?" And she was like, 6, maybe 7, and he was like, 6, 7, got it. I just walked off. I kept a straight face, but only just. And I'm very proud of myself.
That's like some Patrick Bateman. It's like, don't let them know. Don't let them know what you're thinking about. They can't know. I want to move this meme topic forward. So one thing a few years back, really, that I discovered was obviously, it's obvious when you think about it, other countries have their own memes. Because obviously there's a language barrier there. So when I was introduced to this topic, it was Spain. Like Spanish community memes are very different than the English community. But I'm very curious because obviously you had a placement in Japan, a bit of doxing. Were there? Were there any like memes or like culturally tangential meme-like things that you experienced in Japan?
Honestly,
I'm curious.
I can't think of any. No. Honestly, I mean, because on my social media, I still with all my feeds were from the normal stuff that I got when I was in the UK. So I wasn't on. I didn't really get much. Even now, I don't get many feeds from Japan. But there are some things, but it's mainly anime manga characters, stuff like that, like famous characters. But of this, I didn't notice much. No, not much. But there's some anime characters, yeah. But I would imagine they might be known all around the world. They're probably not specific to Japan.
Yeah, that does very much interest me though. I thought there would be like a hidden underground.
There probably is, but I just didn't find it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is, but I didn't get access to it.
Have any of you experienced that though? Because we were in Germany.
Well, yes. I mean,
your German meme folder, right?
To the level of German memes that I got into, I've always made an active effort. When German memes come up on my feed, I always interact with them because I want my algorithm to know that I like German memes and continue to send them to me. While I was in Germany, and since then to some extent, like the level of German memery that I've managed to get to, which may not be the sort of bedrock layer, there may be a lot further to go in the iceberg. Yeah. But the level that I've got to, there are differences, but it's mainly differences in topic or focus rather than differences in kind of fundamental tone, like you were saying with Spanish. It feels like the same memes we would make if we were experiencing the German news cycle. So, or not even news cycle, just the German sort of popular consciousness, in the sense that like there's lots of jokes about Deutsche Bahn, and rightly so, because it's the only way you can cope with how bad they are. To be clear, British trains are almost as bad, but Deutsche Bahn, I think it's easier to make jokes about them because it's all concentrated in this one company that is the source of all your woes. Whereas, not that this really makes the experience any better, but in terms of how easy it is to make jokes about them, some British people have never experienced the horror of Northern Rail. Plenty of British people have never experienced Transport for Wales. Some people are lucky enough to have never been charged £120 by Avanti West Coast for a train that is delayed and you don't have a seat anyway because for some reason, so they were running a different model of train than normal, and in the words of the conductor, that means my seat did not physically exist. Anyway, the fact is, in Germany, you have all of these experiences from the same company, Deutsche Bahn, and so all of the memes are about Deutsche Bahn and how late they are. None are coming to mind off the top of my head, but there's a wealth of them out there if you go looking.
So did you have to search for those memes? Or...
No, I mean these are what comes up. Once my feed figured out I liked German memes, these are what I've discovered. There's also a lot of memes about Döner, which I'm calling it that because I'm referring to memes made by German people. So the memes are not the memes are saying Döner with the umlaut pronounced properly, and
about Donna. Just saying.
I was wondering how.
Well, you got like I've heard pronunciations from all over Europe, really, because like it's not traditionally a German thing. It's
Well,
not actually from Germany.
that is true.
They've co-opted this pronunciation.
That is
I
true,
disagree
but
with.
the shops here do write an umlaut, and I feel like if you're going to write the umlaut because it looks cool, you should pronounce the umlaut.
That's fair.
That's in my mind. That's the trade-off, but I know that's never going to catch on in the UK. Anyway, there was a huge thing before the most recent election, I think, about how imagining all the candidates were going to promise to make it like €3 doing it again when it's skyrocketed in the last 10 years to be like €7 average for a donut, something like that, which I found pretty funny for the first few months of that meme existing.
I have a thing though to mention on that, which is that specifically on the topic of like older memes, this has been explored thoroughly in the terms of you say it's from one company, right? Deutsche Bahn. Well, the London Underground has a whole song. I don't know if you know, it's dedicated to it, talking in detail about the horrid experience of using the London Underground, like, and describing like what it's like to ride on it and having to like ride a car versus having to take public transport, specifically the London Underground. And the song is entitled The London Underground. And if you've not listened to it, it's a little bit out of date now, and I don't exactly agree with some of the stuff they say, but back in the day that was an extremely popular meme. So this has been previously explored in the UK meme landscape.
No, it also reminds me of the New York City subway. They're huge memes. Like the craziest stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, just people doing the craziest things on the New York City subway as well.
I was quite lucky when I went to New York because nothing bad happened.
Well,
But my friend that went, someone pissed on a
Most
seat.
positive New York.
Yes. I mean, when I got on, there was a group of people that went on and started doing the Michael Jackson dance, which I was scared I was going to get robbed at first because it
Why
doesn't
else
really
would they be
happen
doing
in the UK.
Well, in the south, probably not. But up here in the
What
north, there's cooler people. I have cool interactions
Wow.
with people in the public.
But there's also a person spinning a piece of cloth.
I was hoping you were going to say pizza, because like New York pizza is quite.
That would be good. The heat of the underground would make pizza, I'd say.
I was speaking with someone today about the London Underground actually, and I think I've technically been on it. I don't remember the experience very distinctly. It didn't really stand out to me, but he went on it recently, and he said that the air down there is so polluted that when you leave the London Underground, if you blow your nose, it's black.
Yeah.
That was shocking to me.
I think there's little black particles in your snot. Yeah.
I had a really bad story on the London Underground. I got a nosebleed just randomly. I think because of the air pressure and like the heat
Just
of it.
spontaneous.
And then I was like holding my nose, but I didn't have a tissue.
Ooh.
So it looked like I had either committed murder or just suddenly had blood on my hands. So I had to run up the escalators and everything, run into an Odeon, and then as I was holding my hand above like my nose, drenched in blood, I was like, I need a toilet, and then the people were worried and was like just pointing. I think they were just scared that I had actually like murdered someone.
In London, yeah, absolutely. But
And they were swift to aid and abet you in covering up the
that
evidence.
quick go. You've reminded me as well. I don't know if I think this was in our lectures actually in first year. I'm not sure, but there's a subspecies of mosquito that reside only in the London Underground because they're isolated in that. Obviously, they require a more humid and hot environment that only the London Underground can provide. So when they leave, they can't go anywhere because they just die.
How
It's
did
too
they
cold.
get there?
That's the question. I don't actually know that. I think I did at one point, but I remember watching an entire YouTube dedicated to just talking about how these mosquitoes only live in the London Underground.
It must have been something like they were stuck in maybe a container that happened to be humid, and then happened to be transported by several humid vehicles, something like that, and were outside just long and just short enough that they survived until they got to the underground and were like, "Yo, this is our jam."
Do some species get names? Like, do you name?
I
for
feel
the subspecies?
At least sometimes.
I feel this one I would probably get a name. Like, you know the one moth in like urban cities in like the industrial period where they were like it was like white and then it was
I
black.
don't
I can't remember.
think that was. I don't think they were separate subspecies. I think it was that the same. Because I would imagine that's a very short span for something like a moth.
Yeah.
Although for an animal that has a very short,
Life cycle.
life cycle, I would imagine that's too short for a whole new subspecies to develop. I could be wrong.
Wait, was this the GET lectures though?
Yes.
My
Massive
understanding,
Yeah.
my understanding was that it was the same species that changed colour and then changed back again due to the selection pressure.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Is it like the pepper moth or something?
White pepper moth.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's the one. But I feel like that's got its own name because of that. Because I don't know if it was peppered before. Because was it just white before and then black and then maybe speckled?
I'm not sure.
But either way, I think it's such a unique scenario, like having a London Underground moth that does a mosquito.
I would imagine that they give it like a really goofy name.
I think
The scientists would give it a really funny name.
I think most subspecies do get named actually because Homo sapiens, we are technically Homo sapiens sapiens. That's the subspecies of Homo sapiens that we are. And similarly, like this is a fun one. The Western gorilla, what we call the Western gorilla, is a subspecies, and its Latin name is gorilla, gorilla, gorilla.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Wait, so what are the Homo sapiens?
I think technically, I again could be wrong. If I remember rightly, Neanderthals are actually considered a subspecies of Homo sapiens. I think it was
Homo sapiens.
Homo sapiens.
Neanderthalensis?
Yes,
Oh.
I believe.
I was going to bring this up simply because Matthew Cobb is such a lovely man.
Mm.
But he was very. I remember this is like a stayed in my memory since first year. He was
Other
very.
lecturers are available.
Yeah,
Sorry.
although Matthew Cobb, I would argue, is one of the best.
True.
His pronunciation was very specific. I think he even went as far as addressing it specifically. But he said Neanderthal is the way you correctly say it, and Neanderthal is the incorrect way. And I remember him saying that because it was like in the first week or two of lectures, like this guy's so cool. The fact that he's just taken like a whole deviation from the lecture just to address the pronunciation.
Actually. Yes, you're right. I do apologise. I resigned from my position as anointed expert on anything related to biology.
In terms of naming like types, would you name it something weird? Like if you had like a transcription factor,
absolutely.
would you go like Sonic Hedgehog?
100%.
Or would you go for something more scientific?
I'd want to tie it to like if there's something unique or interesting about its function. I would want to tie it to that. I wouldn't want to just choose something random.
Oh gosh, I was in a seminar today from a guy working on like he was working on circadian rhythms and the role of like translation and mRNA modifications and stuff. And he just very briefly he mentioned this other study and he was like, and please imagine this in a very thick French accent, which I'm not even going to try and replicate, but it does make it funnier when you were there in person. He was like, so they were working on this gene called clock. They're very imaginative, the circadian people. And there's just all these slides, this gene called clock. I feel like that's roughly what you're getting at.
Yeah. I choose something related.
Does
to
what
the
it says
function.
on the tin.
Yeah, but as funny as possible though. Yeah.
Is it?
I'm gonna go with clock.
I can't remember what it was, Isaac, you mentioned earlier, but when I asked, I think it was something, I asked if it was developmental related. That came to mind because I found out recently that when they were doing developmental studies, I think in Drosophila, they named everything, like, I can't remember if it was related to Hox genes, but developmental transcription factors. They named it thinking that it would be different in every species, so that they just named it random goofy things that they thought would never be referred to again. But then they found out that it's actually the same in every single species. It's like a commonality between them.
Yeah.
So now they're all just really stupidly named and make no sense whatsoever. They're just really goofy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Drosophila geneticists especially is like they name proteins by, or at least a lot of them, they name genes and proteins by the phenotype of what happens if you knock them out.
Wingless.
Which means a lot of the time it's confusing if you're not familiar with this naming system, because you'll see a protein called wingless, and yet its exact job is something important to making sure there are wings. Or like, I don't remember the other ones, but like so many of them, it sounds like the protein does the opposite of what it actually does.
What is hunchback?
That's like a massive transcription factor, isn't it? It's like
yes, it's one of the body plan patterning.
Posterior, anterior, isn't it? I think.
I think my favourite name is Sauce.
Yes.
It's the son of Severnus.
Oh, I
Is that
have.
what it stands for?
It sounds like a Dark Souls.
It does.
Yes.
It's looking accurate
It's
angel.
because there was a I think it's a G protein coupled receptor called Severnus, which was so named because when it was knocked out, they lost like the seventh. I don't know the seventh.
Oh, one of the transmembrane regions or something.
Yeah, or the well, I was going to say it's something to do with the Drosophila like structure of the whole body. It's they lost the seventh segment or something like that. And then son of Severnus is because it's like it's epistatic studies showed that it's like it's downstream or upstream of Severnus or something. So they named it based on this one that they've already named with a phenotype. But I have further lore with SOS and why I find it so funny, which is I think Severnus is an RTK, and it's just popped into my mind why I know that. Because SOS we first learned about in year 1 with Cathy Tournier. Shout out to Cathy Tournier, fantastic lecturer. As I said before, sometimes saying anything in a strong French accent can make it funnier. And I really hope on the very, very slim chance that Cathy Tournier watches this, I hope she takes this as a huge compliment. I enjoyed this lecture immensely, and I have remembered the content you were talking about because of this. But she was telling us about RTKs and RAS and etc. And she pronounced sauce a bit like sus. And at the time, I was very, very into Among Us. And I was laughing for, I'm not joking, minutes straight in this lecture. My friends around me on multiple sides were saying, shut up, it's not funny, it's just a protein. And every time I would almost have my breath under control, she would say it again. She would say, so, the sus. I would start laughing again. Oh, fun memories.
I think I remember like that signalling lecture.
Yeah.
You know when they had like the map kinase.
Yeah.
And then the first time you didn't really understand what it meant.
Yeah.
So then just be going map kinase.
Oh, I made a meme about that as well. I used to make loads of biology memes in first and second year. You know the one of like 3 people in a church all like pointing a gun at each other, and then there's some guy on the balcony.
Yeah.
I made one where like the one at the front is map kinase and then map kinase, and the guy high up with a sniper is map kinase.
That is such a literal like physical image.
Yeah, I know, it worked so well. I was very proud of it.
I think that was the funniest moment because one of my friends just wrote like, what?
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember who that was.
Yeah.
That was good.
I think in the first lecture I ever had in first year, probably molecular biology or something, there was a guy playing Heyday for the entire lecture on his laptop. In my first...
Heyday?
That's like that
You know
farm
the game?
like the farming one.
Like Farmville, do you mean? Or
It's similar, but it's a different...
Yeah.
I've not heard of it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
Is
sure.
it a mobile game or something?
No, it was on his laptop. I mean, you can play on mobile.
Oh,
He was
okay.
playing on
I'm
his
not
laptop.
familiar with mobile.
It's like it's one of those games that people always connect with Facebook because you get like 2,000 free coins or something.
I'm not. Yeah, those
And
ones I'm
then
not tuned.
always post like join my farm on Heyday. But he was playing it in the first lecture of first year, and I was like, what? Like, I mean, each to the like, but it's your right to do that. But I was like, why are you even here?
Do you get distracted when you see other people on like playing a game
Mm-hmm.
on their laptop or something?
Yeah, because like you want them to win. I'm like, oh god, like.
I remember specifically. I'm trying to remember the name of this game. It's like one of those Flash games, and it's like a little grey alien, and there's like a tunnel, and you jump, bounce from wall
Is
to
it the
wall.
one that's called Run?
Maybe.
Was that like Friv?
Yeah, it was on Fred. But that game, and you run, and like the panels can fall beneath you, and you have to like bounce because there's like empty gaps, and if you fall through, you just lose.
Yeah, is that Run?
And that game, someone played on that every single lecture I went to. And out of the corner of my eye, I was watching them, and they were getting to some high levels, and I was like, you're clearly like way more focused on developing your run skills than you are on listening to whatever this lecturer has to say.
Was Friv the one? Was that the website?
Yeah, you just have like 200 free games.
Yeah, it's like all little blocks. The
Yeah.
screen was covered in like an array of squares. So
It was like the one where you
Yeah.
had Fireboy and Water.
that was the one. Yeah, that was the best. Yeah.
Oh no, wait, that was Cool Maths.
On this.
No, they all have.
Ooh.
There's
They
Friv-
have.
Oh,
Friv's
Papa's
School.
Freezeria. I was a fiend for Papa's Freezeria back in the day.
Freezeria? Is that
Oh
the ice
yeah,
cream version?
that was the one I got into.
I don't know.
I think-
I never properly got into any of the others. I dabbled in them all.
Devon.
Yeah.
I remember that Cool Maps was the only site where you can play games that wasn't locked from
Yeah.
Well, it depends on your your firewall.
Yeah.
Right? What,
There was a period on my
settings
school
they have.
computers where that was the case. Can I just quickly add, on the topic of flash games, and looping us back to the original topic of childhood nostalgia,
Yes.
Cat Ninja. I don't know if any of you, any of our
Ninja.
beloved viewers at home have ever played Cat Ninja. It was a flash game. It was one of those classic, like it would be on Cool Math, it would be on those other kind of unblockedgames.com kind of sites. You were just a little pink cat, and you had to like hop along like the floors and the walls and avoid spikes and like lasers, this kind of stuff. A few levels with jetpacks, which were particularly
Jetpack cat.
particularly enticing. And I like everyone. Like, there was a time where everyone used to play this in like certain ICT lessons, that kind of thing. But I got particularly obsessed with it. Like I think everyone else would play it in the lessons and nowhere else. I would like play it in the lessons after I'd done the work, of course, and then go home and like train. I was like grinding Cat Ninja because like the thing is, it was really, really hard. Like most people I knew like never finished the game. If you did, it would be with like hundreds of deaths. It would get there was a death count in the corner.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm gonna grind this until I'm actually good. And I was like, I got it below 100 deaths, and I got it below 50, and like I got it below 20. And like the first time I got it below 20, I was so excited. I made a YouTube video, not playing the game, a YouTube video like just a screen recording of the win screen where I was like, look everyone, I got 20 deaths. And then I kept going. Eventually, I got it down to 0, and I was like, I must be in like, I don't know, top 100 people in the world at Cat Ninja for completing
Probably
this.
top one. I'd
So, well, I did find some YouTube speedruns online that were better than me. So I'm not going to claim that title, but
I wonder if that's because that's one thing that I'm really actually interested in is speedrunning, and there's like a very, very strong community there. I wonder if that's still like a category, if you will, that's still run.
Have you seen the guy speed run the Natural History Museum in London?
No.
Yeah, it's a guy. He's like just with like a selfie stick. He just runs across the whole museum, and he does a running commentary as well. And he says like, "Oh, there's some NPCs blocking the entrance." he does it in like
what is the
3/10 lost right there.
Is it like any percent he has to go to every room?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like a completion run, you know?
Does he have to talk about the history of
No. He literally just goes to
So he's just
every
running
room.
around.
Yeah, and he just runs around the whole place. Yeah, and he gives a running commentary. Sometimes he talks about the fun things he sees.
It's not massive. I've been there once or twice, I think. And I can imagine you could do that in a relatively short amount of time if you're
If
not
you
stopping at any of the exhibits.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Pesky
there's
exhibits. They get your attention and you're
Why
in
do
for 2
people?
hours.
Yeah, why do they put so many of them in
It's so
museums?
easy to run and you're in out in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any like major skips that you could optimize, like certain room skips or whatever.
Yeah. There's a bit where you can go into kind of a at least from what I remember, you can go into some kind of like model of the Earth.
Yeah, the escalator.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe there's a way to kind of swing from the Earth instead of going through it, and then you like swing straight into the next exhibit. I'm just worried, like I haven't played a lot of speedrunning, but I'm like, there's got to be
So you found like a
or
glitch.
a hidden door somewhere.
Yeah,
like,
there's probably some cheat codes.
Glitch.
if you use the like staff corridors, like there's gotta be a quicker way.
Does that kind of mean you glitch through the walls?
Yeah,
That was a video
there's got to be
game
two
analogy.
categories, like glitchless and
Yeah.
But for any percent,
Well, as we're talking about like glitching through, did you ever do Mario Kart glitches?
Oh yes, definitely. Like you're about the ones that skip like the whole track, right?
Yes.
The super skips.
Because as a kid, all I did in Mario Kart, going back to Mario Kart, was try to skim the escalator in Coconut Mall.
Coconut Mall.
And then you get to like go all around the inaccessible bits.
I think this is genuinely something I know a little bit too much about, but not in enough detail to eloquently like pose like a good argument or even talk about it really. But if anyone's genuinely really interested in specifically what Thomas referred to, there's an absolutely amazing channel that I watch their videos every time. They're a video essayist called Summoning Salt. And I don't know if anyone here has watched this stuff, but it is
absolutely
genuinely enthralling to see such like an in-depth commentary on like a completely like covers the entire history or like a comprehensive history of whatever random niche category.
Was that the channel that's done about like the history of the Mario Bros world, like speedrun record.
Probably.
That kind of
He's probably
stuff.
done one, yeah.
'Cause
He's like Mario 64.
For a
and
game
stuff
that
like
I've never played in my life, I've watched a lot of videos about that speedrun world record, and like each major like discovery of a new strat, a new time save, a new like the explanations about like the frame rules, that kind of stuff. I was
yeah.
like, whoa!
Like on that topic in Super Mario 64, which I would posit is like the most glitched and like well-known Mario game that's like run commonly. There's a mechanic in the game. So the way they rendered and like programmed Mario 64, it repeats the graphics itself, like the textures for the world, are only in one location, but the physical properties of like a wall or a floor are replicated every like 5 map lengths in any direction. So a genuine speedrun strategy, and I think a tool-assisted speedrun, which is like a computer-aided speedrun, is you reach a speed so high that in one frame you go from being on your island to I think it's like diagonally, I think like 15 islands away, and it's like 15 renders of the entire length of the whole map, and you jump that in one frame, and that allows you to skip one door. That's what that speedrun strategy does. That's all it does, is you can skip one door, because the explanation for it is to go in the door you need to have a certain number of stars. At that point in the game you don't have that. But if you do that, you can jump just beyond the door and open it from the inside. And that's it. And that kind of super niche, like that must have taken somebody hundreds of hours to just figure out that one skip that I think saves like a couple of seconds or something. I love it so much. It's such a good like goofy concept. I really like it. That kind of thing.
I'm actually curious, more like, because you said you had consoles as a kid.
Yeah.
Did you two have consoles?
You didn't have Wii, so didn't you?
Oh,
Only
I've
recently.
discussed this at length.
Yes.
Yeah.
But did you have any consoles?
Yeah, we had. I think the first one I remember was the Nintendo Wii.
Hmm.
Probably when I was fairly young, we got one. And then when I was a bit older, I got Xbox 360, then Xbox One.
So I'm curious, like, how did you move from like free games and online free games
Yeah.
to Xbox, or was that like at the same time?
No, I think it was. Yeah, it was a bit of a transition. Yeah.
Did you ever go into like the Club Penguin era? The Monty
I
Monsters?
never played Club Penguin. No, I never got into it.
Did
I
any of
went
you
from-
play Club
I
Penguin?
did as a kid. I've probably played most video games, to be honest.
The closest I've got was Bin Weevils.
Oh!
Bin
Weevils.
Weevils.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have one
I love
memory
that.
of Bin Weevils,
Yeah.
and it was you could go into a cinema and watch an ad. Right? And then you would get some coins or whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought, like, why are they just showing ads?
It's games
To
about
pay
it.
for the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
That
but-
they run it.
But like, it's a cinema.
Yeah, but you have to earn money to keep the games running for.
But
They
it's
have to be
but
hosted.
it's a cinema.
Yeah.
Where you just watch your ads.
Well, so you know where to go. That's probably one of the better adverts, because you were referring to before about like the encrapification of all games and how everything's like super microtransactions and filled with ads. That is like a genuinely clever way.
Would you
You
rather?
know you're supporting the developer. You just go to the one place that it has at the cinema and you watch an ad.
But as a kid, you wouldn't know that.
Well, I feel you
Yeah,
would
they,
figure
yeah,
it
no,
out.
yeah, as kids. They're just exploiting kids. Let's go to the cinema.
I think you could argue they are exploiting kids, but to a lesser extent and in a less exploitative way than like battle passes and
Yeah,
everything
easily,
that
yeah.
every game does
Get your
in the
dad's
modern
credit card.
gaming landscape.
Yeah, mummies
Like-
and daddy's like credit card, just spend all the
I
money
think
on
Club
that.
Penguin had the best way, where it was basically free the whole game. But if you wanted like extra clothes, then you could get a membership.
The Puffle membership thing, you had to be like a member to get like a Puffle, which is like a
Yeah.
little pet. that's
Oh,
running around.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
you
like
could
real
bet-
life. Though. Clothes are optional. You just have to pay. If you don't have money, it's fine. It's not a
Optional
problem.
extra.
I have a really good Club Penguin story.
Mhm.
So when I was a kid, sometimes you get like a free one-day membership.
Mm.
So I got that membership and I got this really nice pizza apron. And you can do an emote with it where you like flip a pizza. And then at the end of the day you lose it.
Mhm.
Right. So I emailed Club Penguin asking
Of course you did.
if I could keep the apron or get an extended membership. And they told me that because this was generous, they would let me keep the pizza apron.
Aw.
And that
That's
actually
really
made my
nice.
day.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Made your day.
I still-
bet it made your year. Every day that you
Yeah.
were on the
You
game.
know, I still have that email.
You know, right at the start when you said you needed a minute to think of a wholesome childhood story.
Yeah, that one's
I
actually
think we
there you go.
found it.
That's the
Well,
wholesome childhood memory.
I remember that so clearly. I was so happy about that.
I don't think I've ever contacted a developer before.
But the problem is, I kept trying to exploit it afterwards because I was like, if they're giving
Did
me
you
this,
ask them for more
What
stuff?
did you keep emailing?
I emailed them like, can I have another membership for free? I think
This is the whole arc.
I think I actually got a 5-day free membership.
Whoa.
Because I just kept asking.
Dear Club Penguin, can I have £1 million, please?
And then it was the same. My cousin tried to do the same thing, but they told him no.
So you got to get good bragging rights.
But I
for
think
that.
the email that I wrote was very like kiddie, and I think his one was very like, dear Club Penguin.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm 28.
If you would be so willing, I would like to receive 2 months of Penguin membership, please.
That is my wholesome memory that we just brought up.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
keep
what
trying to
this,
get me to
the,
play
the, the
something.
arc of this episode has been finding your wholesome memory.
Yes!
We've all talked about ours.
Wait, no. I never finished mine.
Oh,
By the way,
I'm sorry, go on.
We're about to end the episode.
Because when I tried to bring up the stuff about fowl earlier,
Yeah.
then we went into the whole
We're quite
turkey.
far back now.
No, because we jumped into the chicken turkey debate.
Yeah.
But the thing I was going to say was, so when I was a kid, my fond memory, I was in the car with my friend and his dad, and we were driving. We were near it was kind of in the countryside. Basically, a pigeon flew low down in front of the car, just like a few meters in front of the car, and then my friend's dad, he sped up to hit the pigeon to run it over, and then he pulled over just a little. We drove forward a little bit, pulled over like by the side of the road. Then he got out and picked up the pigeon, put it in the boot. They were having it for tea. That was their dinner.
That was your fond memory?
Yeah. What? It was their dinner. Yeah.
What?
That's tragic.
It might be one of my earliest
The
memories.
poor pigeon.
Yeah.
Optimized bird game.
He was basically
Didn't
hunting.
even have to get out of his car.
Yeah.
Just ready in there.
Literally, it flew like I don't remember well, but a few meters. Like he wasn't going to hit it. He sped up.
Changed the gear.
He literally
It just crashed
put his
out
foot down
also.
and hit it. Yeah, basically with pigeons.
That's a less wholesome.
Yeah, but he put it in the boot. And
That's
then,
a foul story.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think it's 9:30 now, and we all have lectures or labs tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think we should end this episode there. What is one conclusion that you've gotten from this podcast?
Other podcasts are available.
Thought about. So I've never actually debated like meme stuff before, but I think we definitely need to approach a multi-omics angle for meme categorization.
I'm
and,
so glad you're with me on that.
yeah, I think that we need to do that.
This is a critical gap in the literature.
if I may say, I'm really not with you.
Go on, what have you?
I don't think I know a lot about memes after listening to you guys talk about them.
You
I don't
guys
think I was on that side of the internet.
do some homework.
Maybe I'll read some primary literature papers and then come back to you.
Some reviews.
Yes, some review articles.
Lessons in meme culture.
And I'll come back to you guys in the next episode.
There's also Know Your Meme. That's another website.
Mm.
But what about you, Simon? What have you?
What have I learned? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
So in the end, like a lecture, we learned nothing. Thank you very much, everyone, and bye.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.